guess what? We're expecting chicks. Have you ever wanted chickens but been too scared to do it yourself? Well, guess what? Me too. But follow along and we can do this together. This is Accidentally Country. So today I wanted to show you how to start chickens from the very beginning with baby chicks. So I've never done anything like this, but as we know, the cost of eggs are going up, and frankly, it's a pretty fun hobby to have additional pets if you've got some space. One thing I'd encourage you to do first is to check your city ordinances to make sure it's allowed. Some cities you think would allow them would not, so I would do that first before spending the money. Now, I did get all of these things from Tractor Supply. It costs somewhere around $60 to $65, which is not a bad startup to get your chicks going. The main thing I got was a starter kit. It's called Impeccable Starter Poultry Kit. Cost about $40 or so, and it comes with a really nice heating lamp. So why do we need a heating lamp for our chicks? Well, obviously they don't have their mother anymore. They've got fuzz on them and no feathers. So they need to be able to have some warmth. They are not yet able to self-regulate from the heat. And so the lamp will help mimic that relationship with the mom where they will sit underneath them and stay warm. The next thing you want to do is to get bedding. And what we have here is this from Tractor Supply. It was like $7.50 for all of this. Why is this important? Well, there are a few reasons. One is it helps them stay warm as well. So you want to do a couple inch layer of the bedding, which I will show you. And then in addition to that, it absorbs a lot of their feces. Can I say feces? Waste, there we go. It helps keep them warm. So when you start them off, you just want a clear bin. It doesn't have to be clear, just a bin that you can hook the heat lamp onto. And they'll stay in that for probably 6 to 8 weeks as they continue to grow. But that will keep them warm. Another thing is when they have waste, this will absorb the waste very good, and then it will help them not breathe in some of the ammonia and things that come from that. They can have respiratory issues, so a clean bedding is important. And when you have chicks, you really want to try to clean this out. Just a few inches of bedding, but clean it out probably once a day just to make sure that they're in a good space. This starter kit came with a couple feeders and also a water container for them. So what you do here is you pour the water in, you screw this on, and then you turn it upside down, and gravity should work its magic, just like that. And then they should be able to drink the water out of here. And then for the feeder, this is probably the feeder I'm going to use. So you screw this on, pour the food into here. If you have many chicks, you can use a larger feeder for them. But for most, this will work, and then you can cover the top here. When feeding your chicks, you want to find something that has 18 to 20% protein. The good news with chicks is they usually know when to stop eating, unlike myself. So that is really good. So you can pour a large amount of feed. They will eat when they're hungry and nothing else. But you definitely want 18 to 20% protein. Anything less won't get them the nutrition that they need. But this is certainly something that will help them get off to a good start. I chose organic because, well, why not? They're babies. Let's give them the best. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and start putting the bedding in. So one thing I forgot to mention is pine is by far the best way to go, and you definitely want the larger wood chips. So you'll find some might recommend other types of trees, but pine, definitely the way to go. I've seen specific warnings, absolutely under no situations do you use cedar. That is very bad for the chicks. All right, so next thing we're going to do is to put the heat lamp on. Most of these have some kind of clip, like this right here. And it's a little bit adjustable where you can kind of move it back and forth. But we want to make sure that we get these chicks in a good spot. So their first week, you are going to want to have a temperature of about 95 degrees at the surface level. So if you want to buy like a really small thermometer, you can get those on Amazon for a couple bucks. It's a good way to kind of gauge about what that temperature is. And then every A subsequent week, you reduce the temperature to about 5 degrees less for the first 6 weeks, and then they can pretty much do fine in room temperature. So a good way to tell if the heat is appropriate for the chicks, if it's comfortable, they're going to be running all around the bed. If it's too cold, you'll see them hovering up and shivering together, so you're going to want to adjust the heat lamp a little bit closer. And if you see it the opposite, where it's too hot, you'll see them kind of hovering in the corners and hiding there because it's too hot. As you decrease your temperature, you can also buy different bulbs. It comes with a 250 watt bulb, which is generally the highest. And then they also have other levels that are smaller, including like a 100 watt bulb. So probably 2 bulbs would make it a little bit easier, but you definitely want to make sure the chicks are responding and they're happy. Otherwise, you don't want to hurt them in any way. So we've got the heat lamp set up here, and we've got a temperature gauge here. It looks to be about 66 degrees. If we can get this to go up somewhere in the mid 80s, then I will feel comfortable going to get the chicks. Think about it. Well, we've had the chicks for about 1 week already, and it is unbelievable how their personalities have developed. So what you will see already is they love to dig up their bedding and peck at the clear bottom of the bin. I have no idea why, but they just keep doing it. So Pecky, on the other hand, has already tried to make a desperate escape. So because of that, we had to put a screen netting on this, but within 7 or 8 days of being alive, they're already almost able to jump out of a 2-foot tall brooder. So please make sure that you have some type of protection there so these little guys don't get out. In addition, they should be ready to go outside within 5 to 6 weeks. They need to have their feathers completely filled in. And as you can see here from Nugget, you already have some of the feathers coming in. You can see the white, so it's probably going to end up being a white chick. Now you have some chicks like meat chickens that will have their feathers come in sooner, and then you may have like silkies that might be a little bit later. So you just want to make sure all their feathers are in before you put them outside. And if you put them outside, make sure the nighttime temperature does not get below 70 degrees. Otherwise, you will need to have some kind of heater in the coop to protect them at night as the temperatures drop. So we are going to continue to watch these guys grow. We will have more videos, including how to build a coop, coming up. But in the meantime, thanks for following Accidentally Country. Nugget thanks you as well. And we'll see you next time. It is so good.